Hello, beautiful people. I can't believe it, but here we are, setting up for 2023, and I'm happy you're here with me. I have a really fun, graphic, minimal setup for this next year coming, and I'm really happy about how it turned out, not only because normally I'm a little stressed out about the setup that comes with the next year in our journals. There's so much pressure with a brand new journal and to try to think about everything that you'll need for the coming year. So I decided to go with this really easy art. 9 different spreads, and all of them took me an hour and a half. And that's including the little recording and the camera stopping and all of those little things. So it was very relaxing, and it wasn't a high stress situation. I'm using some new pens. They're dual tip brush pens. They're called Hethrone, I think. I got them on Amazon. It's a pack of 12 for $10 US. But I like them because the bold nib for the bullet end is a pretty nice little size. I'm not quite sure how big it is because it doesn't show on the package the fine liner size. But with that, with the brush tip end, I have a nice little combo. And it makes it easy. So you can see the type of art that I'm doing is this geometric kind of graphic, bold art. And I looked it up for this little voiceover, and I didn't know it, but it's called Zen art or Zen graphics, or some people call it Zen doodles. And it really is relaxing because you just draw some lines and you exaggerate some points and you bring it in, and at the end you have this really calming, pretty thing to look at. So I did that for my name page, and you can see I wrote my name and the months that this journal will cover. And then the next page we have here is the year. I did this by drawing out the numbers in pencil and then doing a few lines on top of it, just straight through all of the numbers. And then with the pen, I just skipped all the parts that weren't the numbers. And then with that, I started to fill in the lines. So I had thought about masking everything and then cutting it all out and then doing the lines, because I really wanted it to be cohesive, like one line was going into each number all the way through. But this way wasn't that hard actually, and I feel like it really pops off of the page. And there's just so much movement to this kind of art. I really enjoyed not only doing it, the process, but also looking at it afterwards. And here I'm doing my theme scripture for the year, Psalms 119, verse 160. And I have it right at the front of the book so that every time I open it, this will be a wonderful reminder. Went ahead and glued the first 2 pages together that kind of have a problem opening. Normally I don't, because I hate wasting paper, but since this book has 256 pages, I went ahead and did that, and I really like how it makes it so that the book completely opens straight to this page. So I actually see this much more often than I had previously. This next spread is my personal goals, and I decided to divide the different categories into 5 for my life. And I think I have a problem before that I made my goals too broad and then too many details, and at the end of the year I wasn't able to accomplish as many as I wanted. So I'm really trying to just do a couple for each of these areas, and then I also have enough space in the boxes to write a few steps or maybe a few aspects so that it's not overwhelming but really pointed, and that way I can keep looking at this throughout the year and be able to make progresses in the areas that are most important to me, instead of being weighed down by so many little things that aren't actually going to improve my life that much. And I really like how this little spread turned out, I divided the page by 3, and the second page, instead of doing the third box, I left room for the art on the side. So instead of going across like we did for the name page, I'm just putting it on the side. And you can see, you just draw one line kind of in an organic, wavy manner, and it really just develops into an organic, beautiful shape. Now we're working on my year at a glance. Oh no, it's not, it's a future log. So I divided the pages by 4 horizontally, and with the month title, you see I'm using that same messy cursive, but I'm just stretching it out so there's that division between each month. And I will be putting a calendar on the edges of the paper on both sides, so that there's a void in the middle, and that's where I'll be putting the same graphic art. I like it because then it gives me 2 columns between the month and the art, so that I can write one column with like the memories and the anniversaries, and then the other column will be the events and the appointments and the different days that I need to know that are coming up. And that way they don't get mixed together when I go ahead and fill in my month, when I create the month, when I'm working on it. This time for this art, instead of doing one line in the middle and going out from there, I drew the 2 lines on the sides and went in, so it kind of gave it a different feel. Personally, I think the one in the middle and coming out gives it a little bit more of a free flow, organic feel to it. So you can see that on like the name page, the very first one we did together. But this way, I just wanted to try it, and now you can decide which one you like better. Again, I'm doing the last 4 months on the 3rd page. I am going to be using this journal for only 6 months, but I really like the first setup to have all 12 months so that I can have everything together and have everything as organized as possible. I'm going to be using some masking tape to make sure that the art mimics the first 2 pages of the future log, but it doesn't bleed into the next spread that I'll be doing. So again, I just did a wavy line and went on the inside so that it really just looks like it's just flowing into the page. The next spread is my bills tracker, and I divided the page by 3 vertically and by 2 horizontally, and just made an outline for the box and the first letter of each month as a little title so I can keep everything separated. And here's just where I keep track of what bill I paid and when I paid it and how much it was. Copying that same format for this spread, which is my task list, I do the same boxes, but I only did 4, so dividing the page into quarters. And it's so that I can have like a small, medium, large, and largest, just so I can write down tasks as they come up, maybe some projects that I want to do, and it helps me so that I don't have one big heap of different things that I get overwhelmed by, but I can differentiate between painting the house and sewing a pillow, and I try to really manage my time that way. Same way on the right, I have my cleaning tracker, also time management, so I can figure out how long it takes me to do a certain task, like say the bathroom or to do laundry, and how often I want that done, whether it needs to be done weekly or yearly. And that way, as I go throughout the week, I can look at gaps in my schedule, and I can decide what tasks I will do because of the time limit that I have. Okay, I have to say this is probably my favorite spread and my most used, at least for last year, which is my exercise and self-care. I have created this kind of tracker that really works for me. Maybe you've seen like the year in pixels type of tracker, and everything just gets kind of lost for me. I just see blobs of color. So with this, I write out the days of the week for each month just in order as they go, just like how you kind of scroll your phone through your calendar. But I've left a solid box in between each line of dates. And that way, within that box, I can make a mark to tell me a record of what I did for taking care of myself that day. And I have 6 different little designs so that they can be layered on top of each other. So if I do a few in one day, I'll be able to have record of all of them. And it really helps me to see patterns, like if I don't work out at all on the weekends, or if I take more time to do a certain kind of workout on a certain day, to see how I can better myself with what I need to do to take care of my body. For my self-care ideas, I have divided it by mind, body, soul, and friends. And so here I just write down little things that I can do when I'm feeling down or having a hard time or feeling overwhelmed. And it's at those times you can't think of what you need to do for yourself, so I put little reminders here. And it helps me with the exercise. Since I go to this page every day, I'm also able to remind myself of what I need to do to take care of myself every day. This next spread is one that's very special to me, and I'm very, very excited about using it for the next coming year. It's a little bookshelf, but instead of leaving the books open to be filled in as the year goes along, I know what my reading schedule is going to be, and my goal is to read the entire Greek scriptures in Belize Creole. For 2022, I'm doing the entire Bible in English from chronological order, but we've had the Greek scriptures in Creole for 2 years now, 3 years. It came out in 2020, the translation. So I'm really excited to take time to really focus on reading it, because reading the Bible in another language really opens your eyes to the essence of the scriptures that you're used to. So I'm really excited to read the Greek scriptures in their entirety in Belize Creole. And next to my bookshelf, as I color in the books as I read them, I have a spot to write down my favorite scriptures that I come across, and it'll be a nice little collection by the end of the year. This next 2-page spread is all open so that I can write down all the different blessings that I experience throughout the year. So I just put the title in the middle and have outlined the same art on the 2 sides. I decided not to put boxes so that I could really have freedom to write either maybe 1 or 2 words to remind myself, or maybe a little paragraph as the story about what happened, so that I could feel that God has paid attention to me and has given me something out of His kindness and consideration, His mercy. Thank you so much for staying with me. If you've made it this far, put a black emoji in the comment box. I really hope that you have gotten some ideas for your year setup. And if you want to see more bullet journal videos, please subscribe. Also on my Instagram, which is in the description box, you can see some close-up still photos of these spreads. There's also the other journals that I create, not only for myself but for my husband, and the custom bullet journal orders that I receive. Thank you so much for being here, and I hope that this is a start to a wonderful year that's coming, and I'll see you guys in the next one.